After the revelations of the Panama Papers, we now have the Pandora Papers. And in it, it details how trillions of dollars are hidden overseas by politicians, businessmen, celebrities, and drug dealers. Now, this new revelation about how this money is being hidden from the taxman is explosive, and it's much, much larger than the previous Panama Papers. The report was released Sunday by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. The investigation was carried out by 600 journalists from 150 media outlets in 117 countries. It shows how trillions of dollars and assets are being hidden in various places around the world. So far, over 300 individuals have been implicated in the investigation. Jordan's King Abdullah II, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, Czech Republic Prime Minister Andrej Babis, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso, and former associates of both Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan and Russian President Vladimir Putin. As you recall, this is very similar to the previous Panama Papers, which was also released by the ICIJ, which detailed how many of the world's wealthiest people were creating tax havens to hide their wealth around the world. In the end, the woman who spearheaded the effort, Daphne Galizia, was assassinated by a car bomb in 2017. Who knows if anyone will be killed this time. This new revelation is said to be much greater. According to the Huffington Post, nearly 3 terabytes of data, equivalent to roughly 750,000 photos on a smartphone, leaked from 14 different service providers doing business in 38 different jurisdictions in the world. The records date back to the 1970s, but most of the files span from 1996 to 2020. The Panama Papers leak was said to be only 2.6 terabytes, and that was taken from the Mossack Fonseca law firm, which now no longer exists. Of course, we see the usual suspects here, the usual tax havens, the British Virgin Islands, Seychelles, Hong Kong, etc. But interestingly, there are 2 very interesting ones as they are right inside of the US. 81 of them were inside of South Dakota, while 37 of them were in Florida. Implicated in the investigation is Tony Blair. According to the Huffington Post, Blair, UK Prime Minister from 1997 to 2007, became the owner of an $8.8 million Victorian building in 2017 by buying a British Virgin Islands company that held the property. And the building now hosts the law firm of his wife, Sherry Blair, according to the investigation. The two bought the company from the family of Bahrain's industry and tourism minister, Zayed bin Rashid Al Zayani. Buying the company's shares instead of the building saved the Blairs more than $400,000 in property taxes, the investigation found. But there's a really interesting dimension to this, something that's very different than the previous Panama Papers that was leaked. Interestingly, and I did the best looking into it that I could, no U.S. politicians were implicated in it. That's very, very interesting to me. Now, what's also interesting is who actually funds the ICIJ. Well, upon its list of donors is Open Societies Foundation, which is George Soros. I'm sure you recognize that name. In it is the Ford Foundation, which is a known CIA front, a NATO member, Norway, and big tech oligarch Amjadar, a close ally of U.S. regime change operations. So, you can imagine this is starting to look just a little bit suspicious. If George Soros, the CIA, a big tech billionaire and a NATO member are the main funders of this organization, and as it just so happens, no U.S. politicians are implicated in this. Of course, we're supposed to believe that, U.S. politicians aren't hiding money all over the place? Of course they are. Well, this adds certainly a little bit of a new dimension to these leaks, if all of this information I've checked is in fact correct. It would almost seem politically motivated to attack other countries around the world, perhaps even organizations and individuals who are known to be maybe opposed to the U.S. empire, or maybe not so supportive of it. It's hard to say. There's so many people listed in these leaks that it's hard to tell. Even the singer Shakira was listed as someone who's been hiding money overseas and owed some almost $15 million in taxes to I believe it was the Colombian government. So, I mean, there are some people who were not politically targeted. A lot of people were hit by this, a lot of celebrities too. But I find it all too suspicious that if America's backers, or some of the most influential and powerful people in the U.S. empire, are the ones funding this, well, that certainly does stain these results a little bit and makes you wonder if maybe certain people aren't being targeted. Now, as of right now, there's no serious data on those particular people or even any significant fallout from this, because this is still just new and we're just going to require updating over time as the fallout from this continues to develop. But at least for now, I'm going to keep a skeptical eye on this as to how much of this. I'm willing to bet that this is true. These people are hiding money around the world. But it's not so much interesting as who is getting named, but who isn't getting named. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.